Mr. R.C. Bartlett and Mr. Bruce Wood, and the topic is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People and Environmental Challenges or Environmental Injustices as it has been described here today, because I think some of the things that we're talking about are indeed injustices as far as the poor and minorities are concerned. And of course, Mr. Bartlett, we understand that you've been involved quite recently with quite a bit of legislative activities dealing with this. Let's talk about that.
Oh, sure. I've had the opportunity to go to the council meetings, and we've brought forth some, our problems in the council. And not only the council, we've had opportunities to go up on Capitol Hill, which we've met representatives and senators, and we also met the governor, and we've brought forth concerns in front of all the people that were listening at the things that we had to say about the environment, and we've had some real listening ears. And we are just pleased that people is coming to the conclusion that the environment needs cleaning up. And most of the time people think that the environment will clean itself up, but we're putting too much in it for it to clean itself up. We have to start taking stuff out of it. And this is where we stand today, that the legislative process move a little bit slow, but we still have to go through that process. And we're pleased that we are right here in the central part of the state where we can touch each and every county right here without leaving Nashville. So we're blessed for that part of it, and I'm concerned that people are mostly getting concerned, and what we need is more people to get concerned. Come on into Burnt, come on into the NAACP. Let's listen and work the problems out together, and we can do it. We have the strength, we have the fortitude, and we can do it. We can influence our legislative people to back laws that will help us to come to those kind of conclusion.
Very good. You know, Mr. Wood, I think that there was one statement that you made, and I'd like to follow this up, because I think you said, in effect, that the ability to stop the expansion of the incinerator led to the economic development that is happening in that same area. Right. Now, the follow-up question on that is, do you think that cleaning up the environment can be cost-effective? Do you think that we can do that and save money as well?
Well, we have to. I mean, we're getting to the point where it's going to, I think it's a major investment. It's a major, like I talk a lot, we try to work to get research done at Tennessee State University, and to tell those students that studying remediation of the environment is a future career and business. We've got the Dixon County landfill, that the groundwater underneath that, now it's spread out 3 miles. And if nothing's done to it, in 20 years it'll be 10 miles. And that's polluted water that's with these vinyl chloride, TCE, cadmium, just benzene, very toxic liquids. And if we don't clean it up now, it's going to be there for 2,000 years. So yes, there's a very, that's one thing that Mr. Bartlett's told me as we've driven around, and nobody's driven around more with me than Mr. Bartlett, going to Dixon County and everything. But anyway, is he's told me that back in the 50s, they used to just dump carcasses of cows and cattle out of the butchers into the river. And now, of course, people would have a riot if somebody did that, and they'd be arrested. But those carcasses would deteriorate quicker than vinyl chloride or flame retardant. Those kind of chemicals last for thousands of years. So we've kind of changed that. We don't get rid of the things you can see, but the things you can't see are going to be around for thousands of years, yes.
And there's also, would you say, Mr. Bartlett, that there's also a health factor associated with all of this pollution?
Oh, most definitely so. And some of the main health factors we're talking about is asthma and emphysema, all those kind of things. You know, the things that you have to breathe in has to do with a whole lot of environmental in the air.
Well, that's what he said about the cars. One of the main pollutions in Nashville, we're in the Cumberland Bowl. It's a 40-mile depression or whatever basin, and it's all the cars driving in and out of Nashville. And why the decision makers let people, I mean, if you're driving outbound, sometimes from 10 miles out, it's bumper to bumper traffic. And they should just say to those people, hey, if you want to come to Nashville, you've got to get the bus. You're not driving your car into Nashville. You're going to park your car out past I-440 and drive a bus.
And it's really a real problem in terms of...
it's killing us. It's killing us. You go out to the airport and you're coming into town, and any day of the year you see this kind of dark haze over downtown. Once you're in downtown, you don't see the dark haze anymore, but you're breathing it.
You're right in the middle of it.
Air, the Nashville air is in the bottom 20 of the country. It's almost like smoking not almost, but it's the equivalent in a way is smoking a pack of cigarettes a day.
And so that's that's what the general population is exposed to, regardless of where we live in terms of air pollution. Is that right? Right.
But again, with some intelligent leadership, people saying, no, we're not going to have these cars idling on the freeway. If you want to come into Nashville during the day, you have to park outside and take a bus. That would get rid of that type of traffic and would lessen the impact.
Okay, and so, of course, we've got about 3 minutes before we end the show for today, Mr. Bartlett. Let's give you and Mr. Wood an opportunity to make some final statements in reference to that. But take a minute and a half.
All right. Yes, I would say that to the people of Nashville, of Davidson County, and the whole state of Tennessee, let's just come on in together and organize and make remedies for this problem that we have. People done it, people can undo it. So we have the opportunity, the clear opportunity to come together and get together just like we are on your show, and make some terms where we're gonna clean this mess up, because as I said, we made this the mess we made, and we can clean it up. And we do need government's help to help us with the legal part of it.
And I think, Mr. Wood, your Burnt organization has demonstrated that it can be done, that a lot can be accomplished when people come together and work together.
We have people working on pesticides. Vice President Burnt just did a fantastic 5 years worth of work to help improve the Metro Health Department pesticide problem. And people, you know, we need people on research, people do newsletters. The Burnt phone number, if I can give it, is 327, and we're listed in the phone book under Burnt, 327-8515. That's 615-327-8515. And then the NAACP is 615-329-0999. And that's President Marilyn Robinson down there. But it is something that you have to enjoy, and you have to think that as citizens, it's just like voting, you know, even is that you just vote, you just want to do something. But I'll tell you, the people down at the legislature, down at the Metro Council, they're welcoming. They want participation. They want people to be there. And I think when you put the scorecard over the 20 years at our group, I mean, I'm proud of that, that if it wasn't for our group, right now we'd have a $300 million expansion of the downtown. You know, I'd rather have a symphony hall.
Very good. Okay, and of course, Mr. Bartlett, a final statement before we call it in.
We just want to say enjoy being on your show, and we thank you for giving us the opportunity to be able to bring our grievances, and the joy for working with Burnt and the NAACP, and like Mr. Wood say, let's just organize and get together and clean it up.
And the two of you both believe that it can be done if we have enough resolve, and if we organize enough, that we can stop all of this.
Well, I'll just tell you this, Doctor. We're on a road to being dinosaurs. I mean, we have low-level chemicals. We're doing a panel on that. Each person in America has 125 to 150 chemicals in their body, acetone, benzene, that didn't even exist. So yes, we need to work.
Okay, and very good. And let me take this last half minute to to thank the two of you for coming by and giving us that information, and especially to know that the NAACP, because we've had a number of shows dealing with the NAACP, but we rarely had an opportunity to deal with what we're talking about today, and to know that the NAACP is still on the job, working wherever it might be able to assist minorities, poor, black people, or whatever group. And of course, let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.